Um, so is this different or is this the same? No, it's the same. Okay.
Empower these states to run their emergency, and we come in and support them. And immediately, when those requests were made, they were approved and deployed.
So I just want to be very clear, and we're going to move on to deportation. The president no longer wants to eradicate FEMA, but what you're saying is to overhaul FEMA, but not eradicate it altogether.
I think he wants it to be remade so that it's an agency that is new in how it deploys and supports states.
Let me get your reaction. A federal judge in Los Angeles temporarily blocked ICE raids in Southern California, saying that federal agents cannot target people without reasonable suspicion and using factors like skin color, the language that people speak. Will you comply with the judge's order?
Absolutely, but we've never done that. We've never done that. What we have always done is built a case and done investigative work in who we go after and who we target. And so this judge is ridiculous in the fact that he...
Isn't this contradictory to your quote-unquote border czar? Didn't your border czar say that, like, you are doing these things, that you can do those things, and that if it was truly racist, that... Reminder. Spectrum CEO. I'm coming for you. In this video game specifically. Love you.
Either criminal records or what they have for charges or individuals who are breaking our federal laws that need to be brought to justice.
Madam Secretary Tom Homan, the White House border czar, said as much this week. He told Fox News that physical appearance was a factor in detaining individuals. What do you say to those who hear that?
Sounds contradictory.
The facts of how we do our investigations and our casework and what ICE officers are doing today is they're going out there and building a case just like other law enforcement officers do. They're going out there and doing
based on your race,
work,
right?
Gathering
Though
the information to decide how we're going to run our ops and how we're going to target individuals. And overwhelmingly, people have heard the president say over and over again about how important it is that we continue to go after the worst of the worst. This week, we've got murderers off the street, rapists, child pedophiles.
Wow,
marijuana grow
really?
facility. The worst of the worst. This week, we've got murderers off the street, rapists, child pedophiles. Wow, marijuana grow
really?
That we recently just did an operation.
There's so many rapists and pedophiles on there.
Individuals were brought into custody, and 14 unaccompanied children that are children that means that they don't have their parents with them.
Whoa, really?
Exploited, trafficked, maybe sex trafficked, and then we've got individuals there who are working at the same facility who are creating,
they could be,
and taking advantage of children for child pornography. So this is something that President Trump has taken seriously.
Wow, that's insane.
Couple more here, if we can get them in. Florida lawmakers visited the migrant detention center in Florida, which your administration has dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz said that the conditions there are inhumane. More than 30 people stuffed into a jail cell. She said they get their drinking water and they brush their teeth from the same place where they go to the bathroom. Madam Secretary, what do you say to these lawmakers who argue this is not humane treatment of individuals, of humans?
Well, how else do you recommend treating a fucking pedophile?
State centers and even federal prisons. The standards are extremely high. Now, this is a state-run facility at Alligator Alcatraz, but they have a contrast. Well, I've been there and I've seen these rooms that they are in. I wouldn't call them jail cells. I would call them a facility where they are held and that are secure facilities, but are held to the highest levels of what the federal government requires for detention facilities.
Democrats have called them cages, though.
I wish they would have said that back during the Biden administration and back when Democrats were in the White House and they were piling people on top of each other on cement floors and literally didn't have 2 feet to move. They never
Wait,
did
so is that bad?
This politics has
if
to
that's
end.
bad,
we took cameras
and
in there.
you're
We'll take cameras in there and show people what these
doing the same
look
thing.
Like,
that's bad, then, right?
To what happened under the Biden administration and under the Obama administration, these centers are at the highest levels, and they're even higher than what our federal prison standards are, or state or local often are.
And yet your deportation policies are different, and you are finding new facilities, including this one, Alligator Alcatraz, and you say there could be more very quickly.
We are looking for more information and how we can get more detention centers, but I would encourage people to self-deport. That is the easiest thing for these families to do, because then you get the chance to come back. Then you get the chance to come back to the United States, and that's exactly what we want, is them to do it the right way.
All right, Secretary Christine, thank you so much for being here in person.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it. And when we come back, Republican Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming joins me next. Welcome back, and joining me now is Republican Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. Senator Barrasso.
All right, I wanted to read this, I think. I don't know how. Is there a way to figure out how reliable Investopedia is? Let me ask some people I know. Disgusting. Disgusting. What the fuck? Um, big. Wow, this is really cool. It's actually really epic when the when it keeps disconnecting. That's really, really cool. Okay. I don't know how much longer I'll be streaming for because the bulk of the stream before was like one consistent thing. I don't know, I might try to... I need to actually just... I don't know where to start. There's so much overwhelming shit. I need to learn a lot. Okay. But I might download X on my phone again and try to find spaces just to argue in. I don't know. I guess I will... close out of all these for now. I'll find something temporarily to just put on, and I'm gonna actually go swap out my laundry. Oh, I remember this. That dude's fucking insane. Maybe some Asmon. Some good old Asmon gold. It's time to tell the truth, Donald. Oh, right now? Right now is the time for Donald Trump to tell the truth, not any other time in history?
After
Curious. Curious.
Elon Musk, who worked with Trump for many months, said that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Obviously, we've already seen deflections from the president about Epstein, saying that it's a disgrace to talk about it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? It just seems like a desecration.
Yeah.
But today it goes a step further. Quick context. There's been a lot of infighting in the Republican Party over basically who's at fault for the giant botch of the Epstein files.
I'm gonna be real. I don't think there's any infighting at all. I think people are pretty unanimously against this. There's not a lot of infighting.
With the majority of Republicans not wanting to.
And he makes like $200,000 a year on or a month on Kick just for this fucking reaction. Insane.
Believe that Trump himself.
Fuck it, bro. It's your life. Fuck it, bro.
Was against the full release, but rather that he was sort of tricked into not releasing the Epstein files
Bullshit.
by one of his lackeys. But today, Donald Trump came out and basically.
I don't see how that's better. Oh no.
What's up, Monica? I don't know if you're here earlier when I said that I wasn't able to actually do my laundry, so I am turning this on for a minute and then I'm gonna swap that out and come right back.
No, he's not bad. He's just retarded. Oh, good.
He backed Pam Bondi, saying they're all going after Pam Bondi, who's doing a fantastic job all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Democrats who conned the world with the Russia hoax? They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton.
Why are we giving publicity? Well, focus on the we there. You've been the one saying this. You've been gassing this up forever. He's talking about this 10 years ago.
Steele dossier. Now, this is such a smokescreen and a deflection. This
It's
is
not even a smokescreen. It's like one of those like really like fucking off-brand like scuffed smoke bombs that like barely works, and then like someone's like trying to run away from behind it, but you can like very clearly see it's just like them running away. It's not even a smokescreen. It's just nothing. It's transparent. It's a sparkler.
A left versus right issue. Epstein never has been. It's the people versus the predators, not left versus right. The people versus the pedophiles, the people versus the people on planes.
It's crazy that people have actually tried to turn this into a partisan issue. This is not a partisan issue at all. It has nothing to do with partisan politics. Everybody, I think that this is it's ironic because actually, you know, Trump said he was going to, you know, try to like unite the country. I think he did. Promises made, promises kept. Everybody is united against this.
No left versus right here. In fact, some of the people who want this the most are people on the right, even on Truth Social.
Of course.
Obviously, a hugely Trump-favored place. Everybody is saying, no, this is unacceptable. You have to release the files. Later in the post, Trump also says that these are radical left-inspired documents and to not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. But actually, we all do care about. You know who doesn't actually want this out? The elites. That's why they've never done it. That's why it was a compelling pitch when Donald Trump hinted to his base that maybe he was going to release the files. People largely didn't trust the job that Biden had done. That's why.
And he appointed people who explicitly said they would release the files. Like, let's not pussyfoot around with this at all. He 100% gassed this up as much as he could.
Compelling story. So the idea now that it was.
Don't you think Trump was on the list? Democrats would have used it during the election. I've said this 50 times, so I don't want to repeat it. I think there's a third party that has the full unredacted list, and the reason why they're not using it on each other is because it would be mutually assured destruction. And if part of the list gets leaked and it is redacted, then that third party will release the full list, and it will damage both of them. That's what I think is happening.
Biden and Obama who invented the Epstein files is absolutely preposterous. They don't want that out either. And maybe that's because, as a producer of 60 Minutes alleged, Ghislaine Maxwell implied that there were tapes on Trump and also tapes on Clinton. You know who else said it? Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, saying Epstein said, what I know about both candidates, the 2016 election would have to be canceled. So this whole idea.
That's crazy that all of these people know all of these names, but nobody actually gets named and no evidence actually manifests because of some abstraction of law that we like. If there's one thing that the Iraq war taught me, it's that every single law has an exception. You can't torture people. Well, you can't go and just invade a country for, but why is it that we have all of this Patriot Act stuff and the one time that we need to use it for a good reason, it won't happen? I'm a little bit annoyed by that.
That this is a left or right thing. It's not. It's the elites. Anybody who was on that plane, anybody who was associated with Epstein, seen with Epstein, even if they did nothing wrong, they don't want that out. Everyone who wasn't seen with Epstein, wasn't on that plane, of course they all want the files. And what's interesting is obviously the Trump administration has sort of played footsie with this idea for a long time.
They haven't played footsie with it, bro. This was their shoes. They were running on this idea, literally. This was something that they put out there.
Base. They know this is a big issue. They had the influencers stand out there with a bunch of released material. But we also showed clips of Donald Trump implying that maybe Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew were doing bad things on the island.
Bill Clinton. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island. That island was...
We need to get an apology to old Bill Clinton. Donald Trump dragging his name through the mud over nothing. Making up some bullshit about how Bill Clinton, our president, who had a surplus of the budget. How could somebody say that about innocent Bill Clinton? What the fuck, man? His pure name has now been sullied. Exactly. This is outrageous. He owes Bill Clinton an apology.
Really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew.
So consistently, Trump has hinted that maybe these guys were involved with Epstein. Maybe it was bad. But turns out all these guys knew each other and knew Epstein. We know this in part from a Piers Morgan.
Oh, wow. How fucking convenient.
An interview where he talks to a lady who went to a dinner party with Trump, Clinton, Epstein, and Prince Andrew.
Well, wait a minute. So can't they just find that out? I mean, there's got to be itinerary for this. Why is there never any, like, I feel like if you're even if you're a retard, you could figure this out. When was this? Where was this? Where was the restaurant? Who was there? Is there a guest book? When would it happen? Does the group have a guest book? Does anybody remember there?
Whoa.
Who did you have on staff that day? You can find all of these things out. But isn't it weird that none of these things are being investigated at all? Nothing's happening? That's so crazy.
Not partisan, by the way.
High-powered people. How did they all?
Not partisan. You know, despite one partisan side constantly making it into a partisan issue.
interact with Epstein? How did Trump, Clinton, Prince
Everyone
Andrew
seemed-
interact with him?
Everyone was very, very pally with him.
Wow.
You know, it was like there was close bonds. You could see that.
So these guys knew each other, apparently had dinner parties together, all of them together.
Dinner.
Trump later accuses two of the guys of doing bad things. And then when we release the file,
So let me guess. You're at a table, and one guy is convicted as like a fucking creep. The other two guys you say are creeps. But guys, no, I didn't know it. Look, bro, like that shit was, I didn't know any of this. Wow, bro, like no, I didn't do that.
Yep.
can we release the files? Well, no, actually, no, we can't do that. Nobody cares about that. The reason why seems obvious. Epstein knew Prince Andrew. Yes, he knew Bill Clinton. Yes, but he also knew Donald Trump. And recently tapes were released of Epstein talking and calling Donald Trump his closest friend.
So how do you know this?
I'm grabbing pants.
So it makes intuitive sense to distance yourself from
I'll be
files
right
that
back.
may or may not have your name in it, and even distance
So what?
yourself from the people involved. It's worth stating Trump actually denied knowing Prince Andrew.
So Epstein's files are a smoking gun because they don't want people to pay attention to Diddy's file or Diddy's files. I'm sorry to say, but I don't really give a fuck what a bunch of like weird, creepy, like pedo actors in Hollywood do compared to heads of state and people that run worldwide militaries. Like that's comparing a mountain to a molehill. Like, yeah, you're right. The Diddy stuff is really bad, but this is like the elite version of that.
I don't know Prince Andrew.
Of course, this was immediately debunked by photos showing the two together. And of
Why
course,
would you say this?
showing that they clearly knew each other as of 2000. Now, the reason you would deny knowing Prince Andrew, even though you did, is obvious. At the time, he was facing allegations related to Epstein.
doesn't know him.
By the way, allegations
no
that now
idea.
are basically over. Prince Andrew's very happy about us dropping the Epstein probe. A source of The Sun said he's only been abroad once since the scandal erupted. Prince Andrew has always been very nervous about going abroad and always looking over his shoulder, as he should be, in my opinion. But now he's very happy because the guy who never met him but was photographed with him in 2000 just ended the investigation. Now, I have to say, Trump's been pretty consistent on the fact he has no interest in releasing the Epstein files in full. He said this multiple times. The reason most people have sort of a false memory of this, the reason it's sort of a Mandela effect that he campaigned on the idea of releasing the Epstein files is because Fox News released a deceptively edited clip.
I don't think that's the reason. I see what he's saying, but I disagree with it. I think the reason why is because he filled his cabinet with people that explicitly said that they would release it entirely. And I think that the people that you run with, as like saying, this person is going to be my cabinet member for X, Y, or Z thing, and really it's X, Y, and Z thing in this circumstance, like Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, all three of them, and Elon Musk, like all of these people, even if he didn't explicitly say it, every single other person that was on his team that he was co-signing their statements and then sponsoring them to be part of his leadership team all said it.
Where they cut out the
Yeah,
part where
even J.D. Vance in that interview with Theo Vaughn said release the list. Even he said it. That's the vice president.
said, yeah, I'll probably release the Epstein files. And they cut out the part where then he backtracks on that completely.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
And that's the part most of us saw. Of course, later, people found out that the full clip showed him saying basically the opposite.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know.
I feel like Harris should probably sue him for this because this was leading up to the election, I'm pretty sure. And if that is the case, then this edited interview kind of seems to mislead the audience.
I don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
We also have Bill O'Reilly.
That answer isn't even a bad answer. It's only a bad answer when you contextualize it with nothing got released, period. Of course you don't want to put out a bunch of fake stuff that negatively affects people.
No, basically everything, most likely everything has been released. You're just a fucking retard and can't look it up yourself, so. Okay, I'm hmm. All right. I think I'm gonna hop off. Can I? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hop off because I don't have too much stuff that I'm doing that's interesting, and I mean I don't have many people in general, but just in case, if there is anybody that is watching that isn't already familiar, you can click this link and go watch Arya's stream. She just booted that up as well, I think like a couple minutes ago. Much more entertaining than my stream. BT dubs. Very unstructured. I'm mostly just staying up late because I have laundry to do, so I don't have a specific goal in mind. But alright, I'm gonna hop off. I will see you guys tomorrow, maybe? Tomorrow night? Yeah, it's not technically a raid. Or I guess it kind of. I don't know. I need 1,000 subs, okay? Give me 1,000 subs so I can monetize this, so I can raid people, and most importantly, so I can give based emotes. That's all I'm asking. Alright.